Hi, it's Dr. Sherry with Titan Elite Coaching. One of the major questions I get most when I work with real estate agents or when I'm talking with real estate agents is this: at what point in my career do I really need a coach? That's a great question. And this is what I believe is the reality of the answer. And I'm going to talk about a few different kinds of coaches because I think it is important to understand that there's different coaches for different types of needs. So when you first start real estate, and I'll classify that in like year 1 to 2, when your first year is of real estate, I think there's two kinds of coaches that are instrumental to success. The first one is a sales coach, somebody that can talk to you about how do you lead gen, how do you work your sphere of influence, what are the important things in your area to do to generate leads, to market. Somebody that you can talk to about questions related to appraisals and scheduling, or who to use for lenders, all of those sorts of things. So now in an ideal situation, that should come from your broker or an associate broker or a team lead. So for example, my husband has a real estate team through EXP or under EXP, and he's he's it for the team. Like, he answers all of those questions, he does all of the lead gen. I mean, he's the knowledge base for that. And as if you're going into real estate, or if you're already in real estate in your first couple of years, you need somebody that can provide that for you. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the business. But here's what I've also seen is that you also need a coach to address your personal development and your mindset. So for example, one of the mindsets I often see in starting out realtors are mindsets such as, I don't feel like I'm worthy enough to bother somebody to talk about real estate. I'm embarrassed to have to go talk, to kind of reach out. So they might find from their coach about, this is how you lead gen. They might know that, but then there's something in their life and their way they think and their emotions that gets in the way of actually executing that. And so in year 1 and 2, that's one of the reasons why it's so important to have a mindset coach, or a coach that can help you with the personal development side. In my world, we call that high performance coaching. And so that's really critical for year 1 and 2 if you're a newbie. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about, what are the other career phases, and what might be necessary for those. So stay tuned to future posts for that.